Sziasztok! Hi everyone, I'm Sándor. Welcome to my Hungarian Proverbs series. I owe you a major apology. Up until now, this series had been called Hungarian Idioms, but I'm actually talking about proverbs here. I got the two words completely mixed up and gave a wrong translation for the word idiom in Hungarian as közmondás. Közmondás is actually a proverb. You know, all the words of wisdom. They can be literal or abstract. A lot of them are local, reflecting the culture the proverb is from. Idiom, on the other hand, is more like figure of speech, you know, certain fixed expressions you use in your daily life. Like, break a leg. These are called szólás or kifejezés in Hungarian. Szólás, kifejezés. Or szólás, mondás. Which is funny because both words actually mean saying as a noun. Not many people say this nowadays. I would just say szólás because it's so much easier. So once again, proverb is közmondás and idiom is either szólás or kifejezés. And once again, sorry for messing this up. Okay, let's see today's proverb. I chose a fun one today, and I've actually found a 16th century version of this. I'm gonna share that with you later in this video. The proverb goes like this. Bottal üthetik a nyomát. Bottal üthetik a nyomát. Bottal üthetik a nyomát. Literally, with a stick, they can hit his, her, its footprint. So they can hit his footprint with a stick, or her footprint. It's not specified. What the heck does that mean? It means that someone or something had already escaped. It means that someone or something is already gone, and it's useless to follow at this point. It is used a lot in old Hungarian tales when a character escapes from somewhere or is on the run. But it can also be used when a criminal is on the loose and the police can't find him, you know? I'm gonna let you know the cultural background of it in a minute. But first, let's break this sentence down word by word. Bottal is a combination of bot, which is a stick, and the val suffix, which means with something or someone. The suffix is val or vel, mean with something or someone. They're interesting suffixes because if a word ends in a consonant, the letter V in the suffix assimilates to the last consonant of the word. So in the case of bot, it doesn't become botval, but bottal, which means with a stick. Kenyér is bread. It's a front vowel word, so it gets the front vowel suffix vel, and it becomes kenyérrel. Kenyérrel, with bread. Interesting, huh? So bottal means with a stick. Üthetik means they can hit it. Üthetik is the definite conjugation of the verb ütni in third person plural. But there's also a suffix attached to it, which is interesting. The suffix is hat or het, imply allowance, meaning someone is allowed to do something. The way they work is they get attached to the verb stem, and the verb only gets conjugated after that. In this case, for example, the infinitive is ütni. Ütni. This is a regular verb. You take off the ni suffix and you're left with üt, which means he, she, it hits. Most verb stems in Hungarian are found in third person singular. If I add the het suffix, then we get üthet, which means he, she, it can hit. But it's not about being capable of hitting. It's about it is allowed to hit. Does that make sense? So in this case, in the English translation, the word can does not refer to someone's ability. It's more like you're allowed to hit it. It's okay to hit it. That's the kind of meaning the suffixes hat and het add to verbs. So üthetik means they can hit it. But it's also used when something is futile, which is the case in our proverb too. In this case, the hat, het suffixes mean that it's okay for you to do something, but it's not gonna change anything about the current situation. So you can do it, but it's useless. I mean, it's pretty useless to hit someone's footprint with a stick, right? Let's see the last part of our proverb, which is a nyomát. A nyomát. A nyomát. Nyomát comes from lábnyomát, which is the literal translation of footprint. Láb is foot and nyom is print, at least in this case. It can also mean clue, like in a detective movie. It also means mark and trace. But in this case, nyom exclusively refers to someone's footprint. Or tracks. I think that's even more accurate. Someone's tracks. The way nyom becomes nyomát is this. Nyoma means his, her, its tracks. The letter a is one of the possessive suffixes in third person singular. But since the tracks are the object of the hitting, they receive the object particle also, which is the letter t. And since words ending with an a always change to an a when adding the object particle, it becomes nyomát. And usually when we're talking about possession, the most natural sounding way to do it is to use the possessed item together with the definite article. That's why it becomes a nyomát. A nyomát. Think about it as the track of his or hers. So the whole sentence once again. Bottal üthetik a nyomát. They can hit his or her tracks with a stick. So where does this proverb come from? It actually comes from hunting. There are the so-called beaters or hajtók during huntings. Hajtók is the plural form, hajtó is the singular. Anyway, these are the people who hit the trees, the bushes, the leaf molds in order to make the prey move, hopefully towards the hunters. And if they were only able to hit the tracks or the footprint of the prey, that meant the prey was long gone, and pursuing it was futile. I know that it's not a proverb you can use in a lot of situations, but I think it's interesting to see where it comes from. And occasionally it's still used today, especially when criminals escape from the police. Let's see how this was used in the 16th century by poet and preacher Szkárosi Horváth András. Nem tudják, mit mondanak. Ezek a nyomát bottal ütik az elfutott nyúlnak. Nem tudják, mit mondanak. Ezek a nyomát bottal ütik az elfutott nyúlnak. I'm not going to break this down word by word because we'd be here until tomorrow, but it means this. They don't know what they're saying. These people are hitting the tracks of a runaway rabbit with a stick. In this form, it's even more clear that this proverb comes from hunting. The word order is a bit archaic. I mean, no wonder it was written 500 years ago. But weirdly enough, if I were to rearrange this sentence to create a more natural, shall I say, modern version, I would still use the same words. So nowadays, this would sound a lot more natural like this. Ezek bottal ütik az elfutott nyúl nyomát. Ezek bottal ütik az elfutott nyúl nyomát. You could mess with the word order, but I would say this is the most natural way of saying this sentence. And let's not get any more complicated today. Alright, this was a lot for a little proverb, right? I hope you had some fun with this. Thank you all for studying with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe. And if you feel like supporting the channel even more, my PayPal link is in the description. See you in the next lesson. Sziasztok, a viszontlátásra!